The growth that we've experienced has enabled us, or given us the need for this amazing new workshop and showroom, and creating that experience for the customer when they walk in, and they don't only lose their breath at the sight of our amazing collection of jewellery, but they are just completely distracted looking at this amazing workshop and the talented team behind the glass.
I said to the team at the time, this is probably a once in a lifetime opportunity for a lot of us to be involved in something like this. Like it's a fantastic opportunity for us and for our staff.
The first word I would say would be class.
It stops people in their tracks as they walk down Margaret Street. It's amazing. I'm Lockie Hogan, third generation jeweller and grandson of the founders Jack and Madeline Hogan of Hogan's Family Jewellers, and I've been in the industry now for 15 years, which has been an amazing start to my jewellery career. My career started in the industry as a jewellery apprentice at Hogans, which was a huge learning curve for me, getting into the industry at a young age and learning what jewellery is all about in terms of the quality and product that Hogans provide.
My name is Merle Higgins. I've had the great pleasure of working for Hogans since the year 2000. I've always been impressed by the attitude of the Hogan family, the approach they take to quality, both in the gems that they sell and the quality of the jewellery that they sell.
Some of the highlights of my career from a young age have been entering the jewellery design competitions as well as jewellery manufacturing competitions at national levels. But one of the biggest highlights for me was travelling overseas to partake in a jewellery design course in Florence in Italy, and that really elevated my design expertise in the jewellery industry, and was something that really sparked a passion for me to continue on our business and come up with amazing designs that people loved and appreciated.
Ewan's Group is a local construction company that specialises in high-end construction projects, including schools, hospitals and commercial buildings for developers. When Lockie Hogan approached us for his showroom and workshop in the Toowoomba CBD, it was an exciting project to be part of a long-established family business in the CBD that were going to reinvest in the Toowoomba region with this state-of-the-art showroom and workshop.
It was a pretty exciting prospect for us. To be a part of that was something pretty special, and I always knew this was going to be a very, very special project.
Hogans these days is one of those businesses that's blessed with amazing staff. We've got 14 highly skilled tradesmen in the workshop and tradeswomen in the workshop, creating amazing pieces of jewellery, repairing old family heirlooms and setting amazing quality pieces. And we only work on our own work. We don't bring in work from other places and do trade work and outsource our work.
Basically, the heart of the business has always been the same. It's always been wonderful service, fabulous stock, and really looking after customers.
It was exciting for Newlands Group as the first generation business to work with a 3-generation business that was willing to reinvest in Toowoomba. And not only for Toowoomba but the surroundings, that the showcase of their new showroom brings people to the Toowoomba region, increases the capacity of the high-end work that Hogans do in our region all across the world, and gives us the ability to showcase the construction that we've been able to do for the Hogan family.
The goal of the project, of this entire project, was to grow the size of the workshop for our capacity to then grow as well. And we've tripled the size of the floor space of the workshop with this exciting new showroom, which is incredible, but we've also increased in size in the showroom itself.
The requirements of Hogans were very specific. It was quite a challenge to work with Lockie. His background as a jeweller, you know, he focuses on detail to an incredible amount, which we had to become used to, but it actually made the whole project a great experience. You know, he resulted in a very specific, detailed build, which was a challenge, but certainly the results were very, very good.
I love the old buildings of the Toowoomba CBD in Russell Street and around the CBD, and I wanted to recreate that style of building for our shop to be in because it's one of Toowoomba's oldest businesses.
You know, the heritage element of this job was always a big thing for Lockie, and the heritage associated with his family and the business. And if you look at the first store they opened and look at what we've done today, they're not dissimilar, the shop fronts.
But when you come to the front door and you see the double curved entry, that was a feature that was the predominant feature of the first store in Ruthven Street that my grandparents designed. It had 2 curved windows as the entry, which is what we've replicated. Making the selection for our interior design for this store was obviously a huge job. We wanted it to have all the elements of class the original Hogan stores have had, and obviously the elements in those stores were stone, timber and glass.
We got special bricks out of Melbourne that were old bricks that have been put onto a tile arrangement, but they're actually old bricks sourced out of Melbourne, out of old buildings.
We sourced tiles from Turkey, the lift from France. We sourced glass from England.
Another big element in this that I guess we didn't foresee and evolved with the project was you know, the reclamation process in that building, all the ducted extraction systems. So when jewellers are working on gold, there's this fine dust that you and I can't see, but above every workstation now is an extraction system. At the bottom of every sink, when the jewellers wash their hands, there's minute pieces of gold that end up in a filter.
And I wanted to make sure the feel of walking into Hogan's was no different. However, give it a lighter, fresher feel with the different coloured timber and the linen textures as opposed to the rich red mahogany colours that we had. And you know, we've got the beautiful light travertine entry, stone entry, as opposed to the dark granite entry. And it just feels so much more modern and fresh and open. However, it's the same layout. The inspiration for the concept of our design with the glass partition between the showroom and the workshop came from many hours of looking at amazing jewellery stores through Europe. I travelled through Europe when I was younger and doing my design course in Italy, and just amazed with these jewellery stores. They're just out of this world to me.
The other store was so beautiful. Peter designed it, and it was the best looking shop in town. As a matter of fact, one Christmas time there were some visitors from New York here, and they came into the other store and said that you could pick that shop up and put it on Fifth Avenue in New York and it would not have been out of place. And this store just continues on with the beauty and the thought that has gone into it.
Sadly, Jack and Madeline Hogan, my grandparents, the founders of our business, aren't around today to see what it's become. But I think if they were, and if they saw what we've now achieved, they just, I don't think they'd believe it. They'd walk in here and I think they'd be gobsmacked from the front door to the very rear of the building. You know, the thought and everything that's gone into this. They obviously had the same amount of thought and pride in the business when they started. So to see it grow into what it's grown into, and the quality of stock, they always loved the quality jewellery, but to see the amount of quality jewellery that we offer and see how big the workshop's grown with the number of staff we've got in the workshop custom making these amazing pieces. It was a dream for them just to own their own jewellery store and have their own store, but to see that it's become one of Queensland and Australia's oldest family jewellery stores is something that I don't think they'd believe if they saw it. And I think they'd be really proud. Over the years and the decades gone by, the second generation consisted of aunties and uncles who worked in the store, and Peter, of course, who was well known in the Toowoomba public because he was on the counter and served so many people over generations and decades. And of course, Dad was out the back making jewellery, and not many people saw him, but a lot of people are wearing pieces he's made. And that's a special thing for me to see the rings that he's made over the past 42 years, I think he's been making jewellery for. And he's got a reputation for these amazing pieces as well, which is a feather in his cap, but something that, you know, a few things that I learnt from his time in the family business here was, you know, how to run the business, but more so probably an amazing work ethic that you have to have as a small business owner. And he worked hours and hours daily to make sure all the jobs got done and people were happy with their jobs, and that was something that I've learnt and carried through within my own career, but also his love for amazing quality. He's the first person to criticise anything that's not top quality, and he loves pieces that are made to last a lifetime. I don't know, where do I see Hogans in 20 years? To be honest, it's going to be in the same building because I've built this building to last more than 20 years. But what I would like to see in 20 years is more the question. I can't wait to see our young jewellers grow. We've got this amazing team of young staff now that are all learning, and they've slowly been brought into the business at different levels and in different departments, and they're all learning amazing things, and they're growing, they're super talented. And I can't wait to see what their skills will develop into over the next decade or so. And but I know one thing that won't change is Hogan's quality and its service. It's been like that for more than the past 20 years, and in 20 years' time it won't be any different. And that's something that won't change. But I'd love to see what this business will be achieving in 20 years' time with a whole workshop full of very experienced tradesmen that have come on at a young age, and the level of quality and service, of course, will always be renowned for.